Happy Tuesday, students. It's MrM, just with some information that I think is important here for our toy project as we're getting closer to your presentations next week. What you're looking at here is the Toy Entrepreneur Project, the targets. These are the targets that I'm going to be using next week once the presentations are done. Part of the evaluation will come from my sharks and from myself. And so just a quick look at them. So you're looking at here at target 1, which is really a communication target is what it is. That your idea was approved by me, that we talked about it, that you've continued with questions, that you have engaged with communicating with me and done a good job. This has gone very well for most of you. Of course, target 2 is the prototype. Remember, your prototype needs to be there next week. I don't need to see it ahead of time. But just a couple of words about that prototype. You want to do a good job. No, you remember it does not have to actually work, but you still want to do something that looks good, that's presentable, that's not sloppy, that it looks like you tried and you have a real good idea on what it's going to do. So please remember that when you are trying to complete your prototype. I've only seen a couple of them. The persuasive essay. Okay, remember this persuasive essay, you have to have a final copy that's turned in the day of the presentations next week. And it's based on the outline that you guys received. There's still, or there was, copies of those on the standing table in the back of the room. Please remember that it's a formal paper that you're turning in, and proper format has to be followed. On the topics page, by the way, here are the targets that I'm going over if you wanted to see them again. And here's some guidelines for the persuasive essay. It's not too much different than what you did for Unit 2 when you had your take-home test. Just follow what the bullet points say here to do for your essay. It should be 5 paragraphs, no more, no less, because you have the intro, the 3 selling points, and then your conclusion with catchy catchphrase. Here's an example for double spacing for people that just seem to have a hard time with that. Here's a title, which you need to have this time, that is centered. Okay, you're going to write your name on the back of this piece of paper, probably put it in pencil. All right, and you're indenting. It's indenting, and it's double spaced throughout. Notice no big gaps between the paragraphs. Okay, that's just an example to look at. For the graphic, I think almost all the groups have been able to get one of those white foam boards that you have from me. You get one of those. If you mess up, remember, turn it to the other side. If you mess up twice, you got to go get one yourself. Okay? You don't need to have artistic skills. We talked about this. I showed you examples from other groups. But you do want, again, to do a good job. So it looks presentable. Words shouldn't be looking weird, like on an angle or big letters, small letters that looks like somebody just quickly did it in about 5 seconds. You don't want to do that. You want to think about some of the techniques you've learned in art over the years, about no negative space, making sure that the name of your toy is prominent. So once again, you have to think about it and you have to really try. This will be turned in also on the day of the presentations. Then, of course, the presentation. We'll talk about this on Thursday. We'll talk about some examples, and you will have to think about it over the next weekend, or you and your partner will have to think about what you want to do and begin to prepare. Use of classroom time is also important. If I had to come to you saying a lot of times that, or ask you, what's the second most important part of this project, and you had to tell me not to distract others, well, there's a problem. You want to use your classroom time wisely. You had plenty of time. 4 or so 70s, a 50 in there, and any time after school that you needed to use to type up these things or to create a simple prototype. So there should be no indication that a student or a team is panicking if you've used your time wisely. And that also includes not using statements like, we don't have enough time, because you did. And you need to just make sure that you use the best or make best use of that time, students. Final thing is feedback. This is going to come from the day after you guys present. And remember, a reflection, whenever you do something important, is a necessary part. For example, the teachers have a feedback kind of reflection time this Friday. All of the teachers involved with Streets of London. We have to do that. We have to talk about what went right, what went wrong, and all that kind of stuff. So it's the same thing for anything like this presentation. Okay, I think you have everything you need. My sub today is telling you what you guys need to do. If you have any questions, please email me, okay? I'll be checking it a lot today. All right, have a good day.